Welcome back to We Like That podcast.
Because we like that. I'm Joe.
I'm Calvin.
Welcome back.
Yes. Hi.
Hi. Been quite the week, episodes wise. A lot of good, trashy reality goodness happening.
Love and lockup. Love after lockup.
During
After lockup.
Lockup.
It's back.
Okay, so
Found some other good, delicious shows to watch.
right. So we're gonna be talking about Hoochie Daddies episode 5.
Oh,
Love
God.
During Lockup,
Oh,
season
God.
5, episode 23. Their way that they do their seasons for this is weird. It's weird. Because technically, it's a new Love During Lockup season, but they're counting it as part of Love After Lockup, and it's just all running together. It's very weird. We also have, so we have 2 episodes to catch up on for that. We have our Worth the Watch, which was supposed to be one show, but then a really good show came on, and Calvin was like, nah. Go ahead, Calvin.
No, I was playing some music behind your commentary.
You don't need to.
Okay.
So what's our Worth the Watch?
I can't remember. It's
You don't have your
Paradise.
notes up, Calvin?
90 Days After Paradise.
Why did I send this to you? It is Love in Paradise,
Love in Paradise.
which is a 90 Day Fiance spin off, and it's season 4, episode 1.
And I did want to watch it, but I couldn't turn my eyes away because it was full
was-
of goodness.
It felt like coming back to why we watched 90 Day Fiance in the first place.
People in relationships and paradoxes that they know is not going to work, but hell, they're going to keep it anyway.
They're gonna
Why?
do it anyway.
Why? Because they don't know no better.
They do, but they're pretending like they don't.
No, they don't know no better.
Mm,
Because if they did, they'll walk away.
no.
Yeah, they did. They'll walk away.
No, it's called delusion. It's called being delusional. This is
Right.
bad for me, but I'm going to pretend like it's not.
No, it's
I'm
not.
going to fake it till I make it.
No, it's not delusion. It's I gave up all hope, and this is what I'm going to do.
That's not what delusion is. All right, so
What-
before we get
what
into
is
all
delusion?
of that,
What is-
delusion is seeing something that's clearly bad for you and pretending that it's not an obstacle whatsoever. That's delusion.
I think these people gave up hope.
Okay.
I don't think they have any hope.
Okay. Anywho, let's talk about that happened first. Right off the bat, I'm just going to knock out Shannon Sharp and Amanda Seales. I watched parts of the interview. I watched a lot of reactions to this interview. I don't know what people were expecting. I'm kind of surprised Amanda Seales decided to do this with Shannon Sharp. He has told people numerous times he is not a journalist. So I don't know why people are holding him to that standard.
It's the place to go now.
Okay.
Just being honest.
In my opinion, the only really good hit he had was Cat Williams. I mean, he had Monique shortly after that. But it didn't have the same reaction as Cat Williams. And the only reason the Cat Williams one went the way that it went was because of Cat Williams. So I don't know how this is the place to be at.
Whatever. He's a truth teller, remember?
Is he? Because apparently he wouldn't let Amanda Seales talk. So how?
I'm talking about Cat Williams.
Oh,
I'm not talking about Skip.
are you gonna watch Cat Williams' Netflix special that's supposed to be
Skip.
coming out?
Nope.
Okay.
I didn't watch his last couple.
Okay.
I don't really watch Netflix specials. I think the only one I watched was Dave Chappelle, and maybe one other.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really watch comedy stand-ups like that. I take that back. I did watch Al
I don't know.
Ali Sadiq.
Okay.
Ali Sadiq. I did watch his, but
Mhm.
that was on the
YouTube.
YouTube.
Okay.
So
Okay. Anywho, so basically, yeah, I understand some of the outrages that they felt like Shannon Sharp was being very dismissive of a lot of points that Amanda Seales was bringing up about her own experiences. I would like to reiterate again that Shannon Sharp is a 50-something-year-old black man from the South. I don't know what they thought was going to happen. I'm also, again, very surprised Amanda Seales decided to go this route. But I mean, if the point of this was to get portions of her story out there and have relevancy, I guess, still, it worked. So,
Yeah, yeah. At the end of the day, that's all that matters.
also on my social medias, there's apparently a war happening that I was not aware of. The UK blacks are going at it against with the US blacks for some reason. To my knowledge, from my very brief research on the socials of how this all began, there's just been a lot of talk from UK peoples, in particular, UK blacks, as it were, that kind of talk down on US blacks a lot. There became a trend of just being like, US blacks don't know their heritage. They don't know what countries they're from. We have lower education. We're less traveled. And I'm waiting for why this is an insult. So, yeah,
First of all, it's easy to travel in England because an hour you're in a different country. 30 minutes you're in a different country.
Texas is 4 times the size of their island. So there's that.
So it's easy to travel. That's why.
Also, these are from people who haven't traveled to the U.S. So I'm like, further confused. Also, for people who say that they have higher education than us, they clearly don't know American history. Clearly, U.S. blacks would not know where they're from because that's how slavery worked. So it's very interesting. It's very interesting how that keeps happening. But also, it's not everybody. It's clearly baiting. It's clearly to get content or to have people react to their content. It's not real. So that's happening. And then also, I came across some people talking about the dating realities as Gen Zers in this digital age. And I played a clip for Calvin, and basically, essentially, it's a young lady talking about how she's done with dating apps because she feels that dating apps are just presenting themselves as a platform for men to continue hookup culture. And she's kind of done with hookup culture. She's looking for a longer standing relationship. Some of the points that she brings up is that she feels like when it comes to romance and love, you don't seek it, it finds you. She also says that she has a list of qualities, and if guys don't meet those qualities, she's not going to continue to giving them a chance. And she also notated that she wants to go back to the old days when people had to talk to each other in order for this romance to flourish. And as somebody who is from the old days, all of this is lies. This was the exact same shit we were saying back then, just with different technology. What did you think?
Think about what?
Her complaints.
That's what apps were made for. Hookups.
So the apps she's talking about, part of their branding is that they're not hookup culture.
How would
That's
they?
why she said Hinge.
How they
That's why
gonna?
she said Bumble.
How they gonna know if somebody's on there and just want to hook up if they don't say it? The app doesn't know if I don't want to if I want to hook up or begin a relationship.
Oh, you're
or
saying
not.
it's easy to falsify your intentions
Yeah.
on the apps.
Yeah.
Okay.
The app ain't actually. Are you really? Do you really want a relationship?
But
All
her,
you do
her
is pick,
point
yeah.
is there's literally apps for just hookup culture. You can, if you all you want to do is hook up with somebody, you could do that. You could go on the Tinder or wherever else and just do that. You don't have to get
I
on the
don't
apps
want to run
that are
through
branded for more
girls that's
relationship
being
oriented
ran
people.
through on that app from every other dude. I want girls that aren't being ran through on other apps.
Interesting.
Yeah,
But you want to run through them yourself. It's very confusing.
yeah. Doesn't matter. That's man logic.
Which brings me back to my point. This is the same shit, just a different day, basically.
No.
There's no golden age
No.
of romance.
Yes, there is. The difference is,
There's not.
yeah, there is a difference. The
There's
difference is, yeah.
No. As a woman who lived in the late 90s, early 2000s,
That have to talk to people.
that had to talk to people.
There's a difference. You can.
So you agree that there's a golden age of romance where
No.
people were just like, Madame, can we go
No.
and talk about certain things in a park?
No. There's probably eras where it was a little bit better. Yeah.
You don't
age,
think
No.
guys were playing game back in our day at all?
The-
You were one of them.
The difference is you can look in his face and have a conversation with him, and then you had to decide whether you wanted to deal with that problem. It's easier.
And what I'm saying is, when you had the conversations with people, it still didn't deter you from making terrible choices.
Oh, then that's on you.
That's what I'm saying. This boils down
Everything's
to
on
the
you.
person.
Everything's on you.
That's what I'm saying. This boils down to the person. This idea that apps are ruining dating doesn't make sense
Oh,
to me.
apps are ruining things. No, no, I don't believe that. But apps,
That was her complaint was apps are part of the reason why she's not experiencing the romantic life that she wants. And I'm like, that's not true. I mean, I don't think that apps necessarily are
oh, that,
making things
well, yeah,
pristine,
I agree with you on that. On that front, yeah, I agree with you on
but
that
I
front.
also
Yeah.
disagree that there was this golden age before dating apps where people were just more honest. That's not true.
I think me and you are saying the same thing, but from a different point of view.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying it was better because you at least get to look at the person and try to get a vibe. Oh, here I'm gonna go use that dumb energy thing again, or get a feel. Same, a feel for that
It's
person.
not really dumb if you were just using it because it helps describe things.
You get the you're literally having a conversation with that person face to face.
Mm-hmm.
So it's if your radar doesn't work, then that's on
Your
you.
radar.
Yeah, if your bullshit meter don't work, then that's on you. But on the app, it's way easier because I can lie profusely,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't know whether I'm telling the truth or lying because you can't get a read on me because you can't see my face.
Here's why I would argue this. At some point in your life, even now, you still have to have a face-to-face conversation with somebody. With somebody, whether it's just the cashier at the grocery store or somebody at work, somebody,
but
right?
you realize a lot of these people who do that, they don't meet these people until they head over heels with these people a lot of
But
times.
what I'm saying is this idea that there's more naivety around apps because there's not a face to look at. These are people who grew up in that age of not seeing somebody. They're chatting in forums. They're chatting in Reddit,
Obviously,
Twitter.
but obviously they're not good enough at doing that because they keep. And her point, it's not working.
But it's not an epidemic. Like, again, what my point was, it's
Okay.
just a different style now.
Okay, I got you. I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Because there were tons of people in my day before we had all the chats and whatnot that still got played live face to face in person. So
Yeah, I'm not saying it's going to stop lying. What I'm saying is, at least you had a choice of having to see the person first and having to have a conversation with the person, an actual conversation.
I feel that you could still figure out what the intentions of that person were through chat. Because
No.
it's been my experience that even though guys can lie,
No.
they also tell you what they're talking about up front. But there is a history, and we're kind of trained to dismiss it as women, where we're like, oh, he said that, but he doesn't mean that. And it's like, no, he meant that. The example she gives is that she met a guy on Bumble, right? Chatting through the text or whatever. One of the first things he tells her is like, yeah, I'm here to make a friend and get to know somebody. I also am trying to make a friend who wants to meet at night. That's what he tells her through the chats. And it makes her pause. She didn't need to see him face to face to know that all he wanted was a hookup.
I get that. It a lot of times it's not that obvious. Okay? Sometimes it's coded. You just don't know the code. What I'm saying to you is it's easier because now because you really can't tell that person's vibe. And a lot of times too, even when you're face to face, you think he's playing. So you can always take a text as that person playing. If you don't know the person, you don't know. You see what I'm saying? Whereas
But
if you face to face, you can be like, something about him or something about her. Like,
The only reason I disagree is because there's other routes for you to get to know that person. Online. Everybody has an Instagram. Everybody's got social media footprints somewhere. And I've watched a lot of videos where these girls are basically Sherlock Holmesing potential dates. They're running background checks. They're looking at exes. They're talking to those exes.
Who the hell? Only people that are doing that are women who are trying to get married today.
Not necessarily get married. That's just to date. Because people be getting chopped up.
Whatever.
That's the other dangerous thing about meeting all these people online. You hear about that girl who got dismembered?
Not my fault.
No one said it was.
Okay.
I just asked if you heard about it, Calvin.
No, not important.
Not important?
It's not.
Wow. Okay. So Calvin doesn't care about black women. But the point is,
in the grand scheme of things.
In the grand scheme of things, the loss of a life is not important. All right. So, but the point is,
Not like that.
this I
You're making it sound crazy.
it was crazy. This girl met a dude on a dating app. They went to meet in person for a simple dinner. She never got home.
Once again,
She never got home. Detectives were able to wrap up her missing persons report the day after it was filed. That's crazy. That fast, and it was a black woman? That's crazy. And the only reason they were able to do that was because the dude that did all of this was sloppy as heck. He dismembered her in a public park and left her body there. So people were reporting that they're seeing severed limbs, and they're able to piece together that this is the girl that's missing, that just got filed as missing the day prior. And then they're able to track exactly who was at the park, what he did, and when he did it. It's crazy.
sounds like to me she she met the dude on the app and just went and met him. I don't.
Your point was that that's what they had to do, Calvin, so they can get a better feel for people. And what I'm saying is,
No,
some of the
Javon.
reasons they don't do that is because it can be dangerous.
No, Javon. What I'm saying is stop using these goddamn apps and just mingle.
They don't know how to mingle.
Then whose fault is that? Theirs. That's their fault.
You know what? I don't blame them.
That's their fault.
I don't think it is.
Why?
Pandemic.
Stop. That was a year.
No,
It's
it
over.
wasn't.
It's 2 years. It's over.
No, it wasn't.
Whatever. You can still mingle.
Calvin-
There's people out there right now.
Pandemic stretched from the end of 2019 through 2022.
I don't care.
That's a big chunk of their late adolescence,
Whatever. It's 2020.
where we were learning how to socialize with other people.
It's 2024.
They were doing everything behind a screen.
It's 2024.
It's 2024, and they haven't had opportunities to socialize like that.
Like a whatever.
Bans and stuff just got lifted about intermingling like that.
Sure. Whatever.
So
All
I
know
don't
is
blame them for not
people
necessarily knowing how to do
that's
that
been
in person.
outside for a while now. And just because you guys don't know how to conversate or hold a conversation with each other is not my fault or our fault.
I don't know why it's somebody's fault.
That's what you're saying.
That's what you're saying.
Sure.
I don't know why I brought this up. You clearly don't want to talk about it. Anywho,
No, she first of all she's talking in circles.
Mhm.
So, is she upset?
yes.
Is she going to do something about it? Probably
Yes.
not.
No, she said she deleted all her apps. That's how she started it.
Okay, great.
But my points were her hopes of finding like this perfect person now that the apps are deleted, and she's trying to make it more of an organic situation. I feel like that's also dumb, in my opinion.
Agreed. I don't
This concept that romance will find you, I feel like that's a very dangerous concept.
why?
It takes away your own autonomy of finding your own happiness, in my opinion. Because that gets sold a lot, especially to women. That, when you stop trying is when it's going to happen for you. Stuff like that.
I
No.
don't think it's stop trying. I think as long as you're ready for it'll find you. Whatever
think-
it is.
We need to stop holding expectations on what it is that's going to find us, and rather just be open to new experiences. Because she also said she had this list that these people have to meet for her to say that this person's her perfect person. The older I'm getting, the more I realize we have no idea what the characteristics are that we want in a person, outside of somebody who's going to validate us and be kind to us. We don't know what this person's going to look like, or how they're going to act, what their personality is going to be.
No,
You
it's,
don't-
It's not that.
You don't
It-
get to choose
it's
who you
no,
fall in love with.
No, it's not that. It's that they're looking for it in a certain type of package.
That's what I'm just said. That's what I just said. That's what I just said. We don't get to choose what that package looks like.
Sure.
I just brought up that she has a whole list, a checklist that she
Yes.
says has to be met. We don't get to choose the packaging.
They want it to look a certain kind of way, and a lot of times it doesn't. It just comes. And a lot of times it comes, they're not ready for it, and they dismiss it, and then they miss out on what could have been or might have been theirs.
I feel like being ready is also a misnomer because you don't know you're ready until you are. You know what I mean? Like
Being ready is being open to receive whatever is coming. That's all.
which
I'm
goes back to
saying.
my point that I think you just need to be open to new opportunities.
Sure, you are 1,000% right, as always.
Calvin. Anywho, but yeah, it was sad. It was sad hearing about what she was talking about, but how common it is. And I was reading this Time magazine about why Gen Z as a whole are starting to ditch dating apps, and it's kind of making dating apps try to respin their branding because they're apparently losing a consumer base.
Because they're finding out, trying to do everything fast.
I don't know why you think this is fast.
It's an app. You look at the app, you swipe to the left, swipe to the right, whatever you do, and you just click, and then you communicate.
Okay.
Whereas being out in the world, you had to mingle a little bit. You had to walk around. You had to bump into people.
Do you know how they mingle in the real world?
What?
Hi.
Yes.
What's your Instagram? I'll hit you up on Instagram. That's the mingle.
Well, guess what? That's why they still at square one.
Calvin.
I don't know what else to tell you. The end.
I'm saying I feel like Gen Z does have a legitimate concern because one, during the time period for them to learn these types of social skill sets, they weren't afforded the opportunity to.
They don't want to.
We don't know that.
They didn't want to.
We don't know that. They were kids.
They stay in their phones. They stay in their phones.
They
will sit by each other and communicate via text.
I also can't blame them for that because they grew up in that culture.
They were doing that before all this stuff happened.
They were also children.
So it doesn't even
they
matter.
grew up in that culture.
But it doesn't matter.
I think it does because we didn't have that, which is why we had to socialize the way that we did. I think that is absolutely a factor.
They could have socialized before everything went down. They didn't want to. They've been doing this for the longest. This is not just started.
Do you know how old Gen Z is? I need to know how old you think Gen Z is.
This hasn't started 2019. This has been going on for a while now.
Calvin, before 2019, they would have been elementary schoolers, right? They would have been like 8, 7.
Whatever. So in 5, okay, sure. Moving on. What's next? I'm done.
I'm just saying, I have empathy about the dating scene because I remember being single. I mean, before all of this, and the dating scene was trash then. The dating scene being trash is a part of life.
First of all, the dating scene is always trash for women. It is what it is. No matter what happens, it's all you guys are always going to say it's trash. No matter what, it's trash. Because you didn't get what you really wanted the way you wanted it. So it's trash. It doesn't matter. I don't think you could probably count on one hand how many women has had a great dating experience. So it don't matter. At some point, it's going to be trash for you. At some point. It is what it is. Like you say, it's a way of life.
So you're saying men have great dating?
No,
lives?
We don't stress like that. And the dudes who are stressing are these...
They're gay? Yeah.
That or these overly alpha dudes who can't get a girl, no way, because they're assholes. That's the main problem.
What do you think of this conversation around, what a pick-me is?
No.
Okay. Do you know what a trad wife is?
No.
Okay. Alpha males talk about how they want these domesticated women. They want to go back to the 1950s. They want somebody who's going to wait on them, wash their feet, cook their food, have their children, right?
And they're the main ones talking about how the dating scene with women suck.
Okay. There's women who agree with them. They're called trad wives, traditional wives.
Sure.
They agree that they should not be doing certain things that men do. They should be cooking, cleaning, having their babies. These alpha men, for whatever reason, aren't choosing these women who agree with them. So it doesn't. I don't understand.
So what's that say about them?
It's so confusing.
Then what's that say about them?
It's confusing.
No, it's not confusing. It's really not.
Okay.
They want the girls that don't want them.
Why? Why?
Because a lot that's kind of human nature. We want what doesn't want us or what we can't have.
It's just very funny. There's no women that do this, and then they're like, "Oh, these women do it," and they're like, "eh."
Exactly. So that's why when any of you do talk about how bad the dating scene is, I'm like, maybe it's you.
But I also can't help
Because there's women out there that you say you want that want the same things you want, but you don't want them. So who's the problem? Who really has the problem?
So one last thing, and then we'll let this go and move on to the next thing. You're saying real world attitudes that help shape a lot of the digital landscape right now have zero factor on how this younger generation is trying to move in the dating world.
No. It's like you said, that's all they know.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be harder for them to do what we did.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's why a lot of them get in the position they get. They don't know how to read people. They don't know when someone's really playing. They don't know how to have a conversation. So that's why they say something to each other. Hi. Look me up on IG.
Mm-hmm.
Because then they also can fake who they are in their life.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think we had the same thing too, but it was we did a little differently. We dressed a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
They show off a certain thing on their apps and their TikToks or lives or whatever. That they're living a certain way. Where we dress a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
Had these $1,000 shoes on and shirts and pants, baggy clothes, cars with 20 rim, 50-inch rims on it,
Mm-hmm.
bass that made you go deaf. Can't hear anybody. You wonder why your hearing's gone at 35
Mm-hmm.
because all the bass you had in your car at 21.
Do you know that all that bass actually ruins your bone density?
So that's why you got arthritis because bass.
You got brittle bones.
Because of bass. So it's that. We had the same thing, but we just did it differently.
So okay, all right.
That's all.
Moving on to the next thing. You gonna talk about worth the watch?
But like you said, at some point they're gonna have to get over it and figure out something.
I didn't say that part. You did.
So
You
that's
said
a
they
great
gotta
point
get
on your.
over
That's
it.
a great point by you. At some point they gotta get
That
over it and
was
figure
not
something
my
out.
point. My
So I would
my
agree with you on
point
that.
was, uh, my point was, I think you can. I think you need to lower expectation, not standard expectation. It's not going to come in this beautiful package. It's not.
Lowered expectations.
There's a reason they're like it's where you least expect it because it's literally that. It's going to be somebody who comes into your life that you would normally not give a second glance to, and
You
then all of a
say-
sudden you're like, oh,
When you say expectations, are you talking about how it's gonna come
yeah, the package.
or their standards?
No, I said not standards. I said expectations.
Okay, so how it's gonna come? It's not gonna come with the.
They're like, oh, like that one girl was like, I'm looking for a black man who has 0 kids, is a high income earner, established, owns a couple of properties, is going to be invested in me,
Stop.
as well as invested in several businesses. Like it was.
Stop.
She was saying a lot of things, and she wanted him to be under 40, and it was
Stop.
people being like,
No.
what?
You can find that.
What?
The problem is, does that person want you?
What I'm saying is you can say that that's the package you want, but you have zero choice over whether that's the package you need. You don't get to choose
Let me guess.
if that's somebody that's like you said wants you back.
She's still single,
Yeah.
of course, because no one wants that.
And I understand being financially secure is very important. I understand that, but I also feel like if you wanted that, get an arranged marriage.
Also, we need to redefine what financially stable is too, to a certain extent.
Interesting.
Because when people talk about when majority of women talk financially stable, they talking about cars, money, big house.
Yeah, flash.
A lot of times, financially stable could come in a single wide
Nice
house.
little Toyota Corolla. Yep,
So
that's true. Very, very true. You want flashy or you want stable, because that they're not necessarily the same thing. But also, I also kind of feel like people don't want to build that with each other anymore either. They want it to be established, and I'm like, what you can work towards that
Now,
together.
in women's defense, I'm gonna say something.
Okay.
A lot of times when they do that, they ended up getting kicked out
Oh, after they help
further
build that
down the
dude up,
road in the
yeah.
long run. They end up the one asked out,
After helping build that dude up, yeah.
and with packages on top
Mhm.
of that.
Mhm. Kids, yeah.
Yes, but like you said, moving right along.
Moving right along. What was our with the watch count?
90 Day Paradise.
No.
Right. Oh,
Do
Hoochie
you read?
Daddies.
Do you read the notes I give you?
Hoochie Daddies. Love in
No.
Paradise season
Yes.
4.
Love in Paradise season 4, not 90 Days Paradise.
Same thing.
Oh my goodness.
Love in Paradise season 4 episode 1.
Gosh. All right. Did you open up the link to see the couples?
Yes.
He says as he
Anything
clicks the link.
Anything else you need me to do?
Name the couples. Calvin, tell us about the show.
I don't know the couple's name.
Oh my gosh. All right. So we watched. I was pleasantly surprised on Friday to find out that there's a new episode of Love in Paradise from 90 Day Fiancé. Love in Paradise goes one of two ways. Either it is the best thing with couples that make you intrigued and talk to your TV, or they're boring. They're boring. And usually it's boring when it's a repeat couple. You're like, okay, here we go. So these are brand new peoples. I don't see any familiar faces out of this coupledoms that we've got. But let's go ahead and talk about them.
I clicked on this link.
Okay.
Came up.
Mm-hmm. Should show a photo gallery. So our first couple is Kyle and Anika. The thing that stood out to me about this, Anika is from Germany, who has relocated to Malta, and Kyle has a hobby as a sperm donator. And he is very excited about that. And while I took that to mean sperm banks, he means live and in real person for freezies. So he then goes on to very logically and pragmatically talk about how he almost has 70 children across the world now, where he offers his services to women who are looking for an alternative to the sperm banks to have children. He talks about how sometimes he'll donate and it's like in a cup. Other times it's live in person donation.
Take that.
And he says it's very like pragmatic. They come in, they have a little bit of small talk, and then they get to business. All right. And he's got it timed down to the minute of like what would make it the most successful. He also takes vitamins to ensure that he can provide a large donation. He was also apparently on Dr. Phil.
Yeah, he looks like one of them crazy type.
So Anika talked to him because she also was looking for an alternative way to have another child. Then they kind of hit it off in their communications with each other. So then she was like, let's broach dating. When he comes and meets her in person, she should run.
It's already weird.
He tells her that she needs to earn his love. In his defense, he talks about how like he doesn't have a lot of romantic experience because of what he does for his hobby and how he kind of travels the world doing what he does. There doesn't leave a lot of time for him to really focus on romance. He's too busy doing just a physical act to literally provide a life. So for whatever reason, he thinks it's cute to tell her that she's got to chase him. And she doesn't think it's cute, but she sticks with it anyway. He's going to be staying with her for like a couple of weeks, I think, out in Malta.
This is going to be the
I'm waiting for it to crumble.
Couple of weeks of her life.
I'm waiting for it to crumble to the ground.
She's going to literally go get her tubes tied after this conversation with him. And she's going to pour herself into her son to tell him, you will not be like that. She's going to devote her life into making sure that does not happen.
I am confused about what they have in common. Like, why was she like, yeah, I want to explore this? I'm very interested in seeing her talk about her reasons as to why she wanted to explore this. So there's that couple.
Loneliness.
That's an option. We also meet Sean and Aaliyah. Sean is a celebrity hairstylist.
Okay, I guess I'll announce the next group.
You told me the link wasn't working. The link works now?
Yeah.
Okay, so Sean and Aaliyah. Go ahead, Calvin.
Feel like you already stole my thunder.
Because you don't know what the
No.
picture is at all. So
Yeah.
Sean is a celebrity
This
hairstylist
is the most confusing one.
from New York. And he first met Aaliyah online. Aaliyah was actually assigned male at birth, and he met Aaliyah when Aaliyah was still going by their other name.
Which is Chad? Brock?
No,
Brock?
it's a dead name, so we don't need to worry about it.
Something else. The
However,
people need to understand what's going on.
so what started out as like a gay relationship with Sean and Aaliyah turned into Aaliyah going through her journey, going through her transition. Sean supplants this idea, or well, this implication that while they were in Brazil, having a great time with Carnival, Aaliyah got invited to be on one of the floats, and Sean thought it would be a good idea to have Aaliyah do drag because Aaliyah was going by their male persona at that time. So Sean was like, let's put you in a wig and get you in a dress and do the makeup because that's his wheelhouse. He knows what to do with that. And he did his work, and Aaliyah lit up. He said,
Gotcha,
Sean
bitch.
basically said he saw like the pieces kind of click together for Aaliyah on that float of like who her true personage is. But now Sean is a little worried. Sean fell in love with Aaliyah's male persona and doesn't really like Aaliyah's female persona at all.
Gotcha,
so they haven't seen each other in about 8 months. Sean's about to go and meet Aaliyah out in Brazil, and they're trying to see like where they are as a couple. Are they going to continue to be together or not? I feel like they should not, but whatever. We'll see how that goes.
Not only did he change her, he changed her.
Well,
That's what happens. You put on that nice wig and you get dolled up real nice, and you look good. You change yourself.
What gets me is that there's moments where Sean's like, Aaliyah tries to act like she's this super, high kind of like mean girl bitch, but she's not gonna mean girl me. And I'm like,
hi, my name's Aaliyah.
Aaliyah really just kind of
okay.
came into her own, like really
That's
just.
different.
There's a preview of Aaliyah formally saying goodbye to her old persona. Like we're in the early stages of Aaliyah's transition. Of course, Aaliyah's gonna act a certain way right now. She's still figuring out her womanhood right now. So I'm very interested to see if Sean is gonna stick around or if Sean's gonna leave. Also, Sean is 61 and Aaliyah is 25. So there's that. And they've been together for 3 years.
We're used to the big ages gap. That's all they have on these shows are a big ass age gaps.
I'm not saying this. Well, the age gap is a thing, but what I'm also saying is not only is Aaliyah going through her transition as a new woman, she's very young. So I'm very interested what Sean was expecting with this.
So next we have on the show Luke, who is 30 from Los Angeles, and Madeline, who's 19 from Colombia. Madeline, same damn thing.
No.
Luke met Madeline.
Madeline. It's not spelled Madeline. It's Madeline.
He met Maid Omad while he was on vacation. The two instantly hit it off and started spending entire holidays together. And Luke stopped going to work.
Are you literally just reading the paragraph?
Nope.
Yes, you
Some
are.
of the paragraph, and I'm gonna start making it up on my own right now.
Oh my gosh.
Luke, at some point, Luke said, "You know what? I like this 19 young for JJ. I ain't going to work no more. Fuck work." And he got eventually fired.
I got more questions now. Do you remember how long he said they've been dating?
3 years or something like that.
She's 19.
Yeah.
Do the math.
I don't care.
You should.
Already knew.
You should care.
Already knew.
If it was 3 years,
Already knew.
he's 30. He started talking to her when she was 16.
Already knew. Already knew. You're just catching up now.
Because he explicitly didn't say how long they dated. He just says that we've been talking.
And
He doesn't say how long they've been talking to each other.
like I said, as soon as he said that, and I saw the number, I was like, yeah,
Ding 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 ding.
Yeah. It already clicked. So I didn't need to ask that question because I already knew.
Yikes.
This is why they go overseas.
How did they introduce us to Madeline? Do you remember?
She was I don't fucking.
She looks like an influencer. She's living in a high rise. She's in her pool. She's showing off all her outfits. She's like, yep, he bought my boobs. He buys my clothes. He pays my bills. I'm living my best life. And honestly, jealous. I am jealous because she is living her best life. 0 bills,
You can go do that
all these things.
if you want it that bad.
I would love to figure out how to do that at 40. How do you become a sugar baby at 40? How does that
Easy.
work?
You go get your 80-year-old.
Oh,
What's money?
80-year-old. Okay.
It's common
Okay.
sense.
Anywho, so I was like, ooh, this is impressive. And then they show him, and he's also like, I like to be a little bit flashy. I'm from LA.
This
Blah,
is
blah,
dude.
blah, 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 blah.
If you ever,
He's wearing all of his jewelry at the same time.
If you've seen Goldfinger, the movie, Austin Powers movie Goldfinger, I like gold.
No, he's running swag. You can't take that away from me. He's running swag.
That's the company he's running into the ground. That's the company he's running into the ground.
Of several
Several
that he
companies
has.
he's running into the ground. So at some point, Luke decides he's a mining engineer.
Yes.
So I was told that they get paid on salary. So no matter what, he's going to get a check.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently he started taking days off to go visit Maid.
Madeline.
Maid. I'm calling her Maid.
Okay.
And apparently that's all he was doing because he wasn't going to work.
He said they fired me. Or, well, he said let go. They let me go.
That means you got fired.
Because I was taking a little too many vacation days.
Which means he was supposed to be at work and he wasn't showing up.
Yep, that's exactly what it means.
So,
But it also means he had poor performance. So, like, not only was he showing up to work, when he was at work, he wasn't doing what he needed to do.
so while this is possibly happening, he's taking his vacations. He decided, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to start 3 businesses. He starts a clothing line.
Yes.
He starts a jewelry store.
Yes.
And some type of
A
travel,
lifestyle brand.
a lifestyle brand, some type
Yes.
of travel
And, yes, a travel agency.
agency or something like that.
Yes.
And
He said he sunk $500,000 into these ventures, and he hasn't turned a profit.
And he's turning negative profit.
And he said he started last year. So
he
it's
started it all last year.
He's like
He didn't concentrate on one. He did it all at the same time.
he's like between paying for Madeline, who he says he spends a little over $100,000 to keep up with her lifestyle, plus the 500 he just sunk into these business ventures, and losing his job. He's got a mountain of debt and nowhere to turn.
He doesn't know why none of the businesses are working out. Maybe because you did them all at the same time. You didn't concentrate on one. How about that? How about that?
It takes a little bit before your business turns a profit. So I don't know what he was thinking.
Not only that, you normally put your assets in something that's going to make a profit
First.
Yeah. Then
The quickest profit.
you
Yes.
take a little bit from that worth and put it into something that's more,
Lucrative.
how did he say no? It's more of a chance. It's more of a risk.
Or a higher risk investment.
Yeah. But you take a little portion of that and put it into the higher risk.
Mm-hmm.
But you make sure you don't really affect something that's going to be your turnover, quick turnover. That's
Your bottom line.
your
Yeah.
bottom line. That's a for sure seller. He put all his eggs in
5.
five high risk ventures at the same time.
Why was he like travel agency? Like I didn't.
I have
Why?
no idea because I travel. Henceforth, travel agency.
But the internet exists.
I know how to travel.
The internet exists. I have more
But-
questions.
It doesn't matter.
Like the travel agency itself, the industry has been suffering for years because internet exists.
Obviously, he didn't do his
Research.
research and homework.
What was his lifestyle brand? Like it was a general lifestyle brand. What does that
Gold.
mean?
Gold.
Gold.
Gold. I like the smell of it, the texture, the taste of it.
He gives you feels of like, I really want to be an influencer, but I'm clearly not one, but I really want to be. Like that's what he gives me.
And apparently, if he was using Madeline, she wasn't turning enough profit neither. If that was what he was trying to do.
Here's my other thing. When he's talking to his friend about his money woes, and his friend is like, how much have you been giving Madeline? He says, I've given her approximately a little over 100,000. If they've been dating for 3 years and he's only paid about 100,000 for her, that's not a lot compared to what he invested in the last year. It's not a lot. If
But let's just say,
cumulatively, it came to 100 over that time span. That's not a lot.
he didn't mention to his friend that he did that.
That's true.
So
The business stuff.
yeah.
I just thought it was really funny. Also, there's previews of them trying to have like a very serious talk, but they're in furs, like hoodies that are furs. And he's like, I don't know that I can keep doing this. And she's crying and is like, well, where's the money? I don't know. And I can't take them seriously because they're sitting in ridiculous outfits. It's just,
Not only
it's
that,
going to be great.
with all his struggles, the first thing he does is gets a tan on like Rodeo Drive or somewhere like that.
I have some tea about that. Did you know that originally they had to take down the episode because they didn't edit out his reflection in the mirror? So he's naked when he goes to get his tan, right?
Mm-hmm.
We see him turn, put his stuff up,
Yeah.
and then they blur out his butt. But there's a mirror in the back of that little thing that he goes in, that little, I guess like the tanning booth.
Yeah.
There's a mirror in the back so people could see his penis. And apparently when you watched it live, you got the full show, and they had to take it down and do a quick edit and put it back up.
Okay.
It was a big deal.
I guess it hurt his feelings or something.
I think it hurt people's feelings because they were like, oh, I watch a lot of things on this channel, but nudity is not one of them.
Whatever. The same people that are sitting in their house watching porn right now. Anywho, don't even matter.
Next couple.
So that's Luke and Madeline.
Madeline.
Maid, asshole, same thing. I like gold. The last but not least couple is Alex and Adriano.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, I thought Alex was the guy and Adriano was the dude, the girl. Apparently I'm wrong. So Alex is from Dallas, Texas, and Adriana is from Italy.
Yes.
This whole problem with them is that Adriana is a whore. That's it. End. The end.
We get introduced to them, and Alex is like, Adriano swept me off my feet. She went to Italy. She met him, and the highlights for her is that he's exotic, quote unquote, according to her. She feels like he's very romantic, and she just really likes their physical chemistry together. However, apparently, Adriana also has all of these with a lot of other women. So, the whole setup that we've seen for her, because she didn't get a lot of screen time for this first episode.
And by the way, what made this time no deal? Because she says she's been.
We didn't even say what the deal was. We gotta introduce them, and then do all of that so that they have a context.
The whole deal is this time he wants to have intercourse with her cousin. Apparently,
you're gonna give them zero context and just say that part. The point is, he tells her he wants a threesome. He says that he's been in a lot of threesomes. He loves them. He thinks they lit. She has never been comfortable doing threesomes. Then it comes out later he wants a threesome with her and her cousin. I don't know how true that is. I don't know if he was just being petty and was like, your cousin.
No, he meant that shit. No, he meant that.
Joking.
He saw that booty, and it's your beauty, not your beauty that I want.
Her cousin's not in Italy, so how did he see her?
He saw something.
I don't think he did. So anyway.
I think he did. I think he said, because I think they met somehow.
I wouldn't put it past the show to make it up, to add more context to her story. Because she was barely in the first episode.
Okay.
I wouldn't put it past the show.
Okay.
But she says later in another confessional for a preview for the next episode that she's broken up with him twice before because of his womanizing ways. Him chasing threesomes or chasing other physical sexual encounters with other women that aren't her.
That's why I said this time the deal breaker was this time he wants one of those females to be her cousin.
I feel like the show made it a deal breaker. Because when she tells her cousin that and her other cousin's like, what? She backtracks immediately. So I don't know how accurate it is. It's also not him physically saying it. It's her saying it. And I don't put it past the show to be like, well, say this. We know that the show is TLC reality, which means script.
At the end of the day, he wanted a threesome. He wanted.
That's definitely how they're positioning it. But here's my question. How many times he got to tell you who he is before you're like, oh, yeah. Yeah.
He loves those Diddy parties. Take that.
That's a very scary and extreme situation. Diddy parties included underage prostitution. So you're saying not only does he want threesomes, he wants children?
Who knows? I don't put anything past anybody nowadays,
Oh my gosh.
especially these guys. You say, oh my gosh, we just had the last couple who probably were dating since she was a kid. So there you go.
That's very true. That's very true. She's very young.
And it's not like TLC was like, no, we're not doing it. We're not putting you guys on.
Did you hear about Angela's latest live?
Nope.
Angela Deems from the OG 90 Day Fiance
Raggedy Ann.
says that she's not been terminated from 90 Day Fiance, that she's coming back. I don't know how. Michael has escaped to freedom, so I don't know how she's coming back. But she has a new boo. She introduced a new black boyfriend, a young black boyfriend, on her live. People are calling her the Crypt Keeper, and telling that man he also needs to chase his freedom. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Like I said, Michael got to the States. She was doing whatever she wanted to do. And he's like, nah. And she's like, I'm still doing what I want to do. She threatened that dude. And Mike's like, okay, I'm not in Africa.
I got choices now.
Nobody will be able to, my family won't know what happened. And it's not like America's going to look for me. I'm out this bitch. And I'm in America too, where I wanted to be anyway. I'm out. So I don't blame him. But I'm pretty sure she threatened his ass. Because she's threatening him in Africa. She was threatening him in Africa.
Yeah.
So why won't she threaten him when he's in her own house now?
Yeah.
But it's his fault. Like her daughter would say, it's his fault. Really?
Well,
Your old Crypt Keeper mama.
do you think she was lying and is not coming back to the franchise? 'Cause I don't know how she would come back.
She's not coming back. She's not doing anything that's related to 90 Day.
Well,
And-
if she's single, she could try
Well,
90 Day Single Life.
I wouldn't put it past her to put her on a single life. But that's pretty much Love in Paradise.
Yes.
We are here for it. The toxicity and the delusion of these characters are on another level.
Uh-huh.
Like you said, you had the two guys, Sean and Aaliyah.
Aaliyah is a girl.
Yeah, I know.
You said the two guys.
I'm sorry. Sean and Aaliyah. Who Sean is the reason Aaliyah is Aaliyah.
I don't think that's true. I mean,
He helped. Yeah, it's kind of true.
did
helped her-
provide an opportunity.
He helped her find herself.
Yes, helped. But I don't think the reason. Help, yes.
It backfired. He was just trying to play dress up.
I don't agree with the term backfire.
Yeah,
but
it
yes.
backfired. He was playing dress up. Sean was playing dress up.
Backfire kind of turns into like a betrayal. And I don't think Aaliyah finding her real self is a betrayal.
It's a backfire for Sean.
Okay, Calvin.
Sean was playing dress up. It just happened that Aaliyah loved what she saw and found herself. It was supposed to be dress up. You can say what you want to say and try to be nice. It was for Sean. It was supposed to be dress up.
Try to be nice.
Yeah, Sean saw it as dress up. You even said it yourself. He got the hair done. He's the stylist. Oh, I'm gonna style you up, girl. We would do like this, do like that. Ooh, it just happened though. Aaliyah was like, This is who I am."
So here's my thing. Sean talks about how Aaliyah used to wear makeup. When Aaliyah was still going as their male persona, Aaliyah was completely starting to embrace their femininity anyway. I understand Sean's point that all he did was provide a little more context for Aaliyah.
Once again, in Sean's mind,
I just have a problem with backfire because it makes it sound like a betrayal.
It's like
and I
you
don't agree that it's a
like
betrayal.
you said. Sean just saw it as him playing with makeup. That's it. We can try to sugarcoat it.
I didn't say playing with makeup. I said embracing femininity.
that.
Most
Sean,
guys who wear makeup are not playing.
Sean saw it as playing with makeup,
Okay.
doing stuff. I'm telling you what Sean thought, because if that's the case, Sean wouldn't be so upset or shocked by what's going on now.
Sean is upset because he thought the relationship would remain the same, and it's not.
Because, like, once again, messing, playing way makeup every once in a while. Okay, cool. That's cute. Okay. Because you should do drag. Costume. Put it on. Oh, what? That's how you want to be for real? Oh. I don't know how I feel with that, because that's not what I want. Or me. I thought we were just playing around or just doing something as for the time being or to get it out your system or whatever. I didn't know that's who you really wanted to be. That's what Sean is trying to figure out now. Sean thought it was just a game. Or not a game, just we're just doing this as a phase or a fad or whatever. Because Sean doesn't want Aaliyah. Sean wants the person that's dead.
Well, I think Sean is trying to figure that out from themselves
That would
because
mean
Sean's trying to be open
Sean
to
can't be
Aaliyah's transition, but I think
Sean.
ultimately Sean is worried that the person they fell in love with is gone, which I think they are.
Sean's gay. This is gonna.
I think it speaks to, does it boil down to you falling in love with the person or falling in love with the gender? And if all Sean is concerned with is the gender, then yes, it's not going to work.
You can make a case the person he fell for is dead. They're not there. They've changed. Well, the guy or the person he fell in love with was touching their femininity every once in a while. The person now is all feminine. That masculine side is gone. And they feel more comfortable in their femininity, right? If that's what I'm taking from this, right? So, yeah, that person is gone.
Okay.
So Sean's gonna either have to deal with it or move on. I think he's gonna say a lot of messed up shit and then he's gonna move on.
Sean is very careful about his words. He does, when he's explaining what's going on, he's very cautious.
That's when your emotions is not into it. Once emotions get into it and people get hurt, things change.
To me, I feel like it's going to boil back down because some of Sean's complaints is that the person is different. Because Aaliyah is a little more showboaty versus the person he fell in love with, which he felt was an introvert and much shyer. And it's like, well, yeah, that person was like that because they didn't know themselves. Aaliyah knows herself better. So there's a little more confidence there. So they're acting a little differently. But my thing is, it's been 8 months. Like, since Aaliyah began her transition, it's been 8 months.
So for me, that's the most interesting couple. The couple that's just it's gonna be a train wreck, but it's to me it might not be a good train wreck. Is the Alex
And
and
Adriano, I feel like they're the most boring couple because they're barely in the first
What I'm
episode.
saying to you is that's they're gonna be the most craziest, but it's gonna be boring because it's gonna be like you shouldn't have been together anyway.
I,
The most funniest uh couple is gonna be
Rent a swag.
yes, no. They're gonna be the best tragedy.
How a tragedy means sad.
Well,
They are full comedy effect.
well, not tragedy. They're gonna be the best the best crazy.
There's only 4 couples.
Yeah.
Who do you think is going to be the best comedy then? If it's not them,
The dude that jacks off and that girl. They're gonna be the funniest.
I don't think they're going to be the funniest. She's German.
They're gonna be the funniest. The reason they're gonna be the funniest because she's gonna be sitting there the whole time trying to make a relationship with a dude that doesn't understand how a relationship works, nor does he. I think he really wants one.
I think they are going to be the tragedy. I think that couple's going to be the tragedy.
Really?
I think Rent a Swag is the comedy. I think
I think-
Alex and Adriano is going to be the dismissive one. I think it's going to
Okay.
boil down to like
Yes.
really quick
Yes.
story context,
Yes.
and they're
Yeah.
out.
That's gonna be the one that you can dismiss. The most interesting one is gonna be
The one I'm invested in is Aaliyah and Sean.
That's gonna be the most interesting one. I think that to me the funny one's gonna be the dude that jacks off.
To me, the funny one is Rent a Swag. I can't wait for Rent a Swag to be like, I'm broke. I can't wait to see what happens because he's not going to straight out say it. He's going to showboat. I'm sure he bought stuff to bring her. First of all,
We
how did he afford the flight to get down there?
we
I can't wait.
we shall see.
I
It's gonna
can't
be
wait.
funny, but it's gonna be stupid funny.
I can't wait.
It's gonna be stupid funny.
But the I think his name is Mike. Him and the lady from Germany who lives in Malta. Like,
Yeah, that one's gonna be. It
I
don't
think
make
that's
sense
the
funny.
tragedy.
gonna
She's a
be-
single mom who is like, all right, let me take this. I'm gonna take this chance. It's gonna blow up in her face.
See, right there, the empathy right there is really just taking all the fun out of it for you, right there.
Yeah, empathy.
No, I'm not. She picked this. This is what she wanted. So it's my job to laugh at it.
But not rent a swag?
Oh, I'm gonna laugh at Random Swag. Random Swag is, but that's stupid to me. That's stupid.
You're so crazy, Calvin.
He's stupid.
You're so crazy. I can't wait for rent a swag. I can't wait. So
Well, then you know what? Thinking about it, like you said, yeah, the tragedy would be that lady and that guy. But it's gonna be funny tragedy for me, because I'm here for it. You picked that. And when he got to the airport, it was horrible.
it was.
That was the worst
It
meat
was.
I've ever seen on 90 Day
It was.
or Loving It. Is Love in Paradise is 90 as a
90
spin off
Day.
of 90.
Mhm.
That's the worst meat in 90 Day history.
His whole like
By
she's got to earn
far.
points before she can kiss me.
By
What?
far.
What are you
The
what?
worst meet and greet at the airport ever.
And then him laying down
It's
the
not even
rules.
close.
She smokes a cigarette, she loses a point. I was like, whoa.
Everything out his mouth was wrong. Everything out his mouth.
She
was
eats healthy, she
wrong.
gets a point. I was like, wow.
Everything he said was stupid and wrong.
Wow. She's got to earn me. Oh.
She did not smile at no
Okay.
point. She smiled when she saw him. After that, everything else was a straight line on her face or sad look or a confused look.
So many questions.
She smiled for 30, maybe 20 seconds when they met. The rest of it was confusion, sad, or befuddlement.
The reason I feel it's more tragic for them is because they're inevitably going to be talking about how he has all of these kids that he does not have a relationship with at all. And she's clearly thinking about settling down, which means that if she settles down with this dude and has a kid by this dude, that kid has so many siblings out there. So many. And that conversation's going to be insane.
I wish I could change my voice and not change yours. I don't care. It's going to be hilarious. But join us in this tragedy, ladies and gentlemen.
Ugh.
You enjoy it too. Trust me. Trust me.
Mhm.
And now, the train wreck that is called Hoochie Daddies. Hoochie Daddies, please stay inside. Hoochie Daddies, please let this ride pass. Don't get on the ride. Hoochie Daddies. Whatever you are, Hoochie Daddies. I hate you, and I know why. You can go, Joe.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
You're welcome.
So, Hoochie Daddy Season 2, Episode 5 dropped on the YouTubes. This episode was interesting. It was a combination of like confessional / kind of a challenge that they had to do. Maybe sort of, kind of. And a club night. So, we open up.
I'm sorry. After they pulled their hearts out, they went to the club and drank their sorrows away?
Yeah.
Of course.
So we open up with 24K giving meditation chips. 24K has been a little bit of an enigma at the house because one, people constantly question her intelligence, and I'm not sure why, but also you see her meditating a lot, and she just talks about how like it really has helped her spiritually kind of ground herself, kind of balance all of her energies.
When she's meditating and they're looking at her, they see this look. That's why.
What look is that?
That's why every time they think she's thinking, that's what they think is happening in her head.
I think you saw a button and you were like, I can use this button.
Yeah, because it made sense there.
Okay. Anywho, so she's doing this with Nelly Mino and Ty Jack, who've joined her. And at first it's like a little cute scene, but then Woody gets there and it disrupts it immediately. Woody has some questions about what went on with the conversations the previous nights on the other episode, where apparently the girls ganged up on Nelly. The information that Woody got from Ace, who is the security guard that stays at the house, was that the girls ganged up on Nelly. Did the girls gang up on Nelly? Kinda. They kinda did. But also they were calling out behavior that they witnessed with Nelly at the same time, which is what Woody was supposed to be addressing. And the way that Woody addresses it is hysterical. So Woody's asking them about what happened the night before. And 24K immediately throws Mino under the bus. And it's like, yeah, the girls ganged up, especially Mino over here. And Mino's looking at her like, bitch, what is. And then it's Jack trying to explain how, like, it really wasn't a gang up. They were all just kind of talking about how they all had their issues with Nelly. And it's Woody being like, okay, well, we're going to address this. Let's head back to the house. We're going to start talking about the day's events. Cool. And then it's Woody making the rounds. She talks to Money Montana. She talks to Baby Jackson and Raw and Cooley. And all of the girls basically kind of say the same thing. They say that Nelly just acts really hard for no reason and they don't know why. But Woody is like, y'all also are all drinking. And they're like, yeah, let's play another drink. Maybe it's that. They move inside to get everything started. Woody's there with Sheena. Woody's conversation to the girls about talking with Nelly is like, hey, we're all adults. We've all been drinking. Let's be mindful of that. Anyway, on to the challenges. Like, that was it. That's how she addressed the whole thing. So,
blame it on the goose.
So then, we find out. Oh, she asked all the girls who's ready to win the competition because we see who's on the board and it's really just a handful of the girls. But she's like, who's trying to win this, Hoochie Daddy medal? All the girls say that they're all trying to win it. Anyway, they launch into the day's events. It's Sipping with Sheena. It's actually a very long title. It's like Sipping with Sheena, Henny, Straight, No Receipts. Like, it's a very long title to basically make it look like it's a talk show gig with Sheena. We get that interspersed with very random trivia.
Blame it on a Henny.
It to me, it didn't make sense. We get Cooley who comes up, and the questions that Sheena asks these girls starts out like very surface level. How do you like being in the house? You getting along with the personalities? Tell me who you miss most out of your life. Who recently passed? I was like, wow. We find out Cooley, both of her parents passed very recently. And she's found herself in a situation where she's now got to take care of her siblings. And they're like, well, dang, that sucks, girl. Well, thanks for being here. Like, it's like, what? And then, then we get, I'm losing my notes. Then we get Woody. Woody's in the confessional for some reason. It's her show.
How
but
y'all doing out there?
Why does she put herself in the challenges anyway? It's Woody on the couch talking to Sheena, and Sheena's like, well, how do you feel about this new cast compared to the first season cast? Woody gives, your trademark, I love both of the girls, blah, 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 business. But then Sheena asks her who's her favorites out of his second cast. And Woody tells her, oh, Baby Jackson, Cooley, her nephew, and Money Montana. I was like, okay, great. Then we also get 24K's interview. 24K talks about how they're in a polygamous situation. I don't think they know the difference between polygamy and polyamorous. Polygamy is when it's one person who gets a bunch of different spouses. It's not a shared dynamic like polyamory, where everybody kind of comes to their own, I want to say, like, agreements about what they want to do in their relationship together as a team. It's not a team in polygamy, but they're like, yeah, polygamy. We find out that 24K basically is polyamorous. Her and her wife have an open relationship. They don't have a live-in third person or anything, but they keep it pretty open so that they don't miss out on other experiences. And it's really helped 24K with her jealousy, actually, in doing it, which kicked off during a counseling session for marriage. They were faced with the question of what happens if somebody cheats. And this was the solution they came up with, was opening up the marriage. But it's working for them. So we find out that Money Montana's interview, Again, starts off pretty surface. They're like, "How are you doing? How are you feeling in the house?" And then Sheena's like, "Are you still a virgin?" Hell of a jump. Then we find out Money Montana says not really because she has experienced sexual assault multiple times. Sheena's like, "Yeah, was it family or outside family?" And Monty's like, "Yeah, family." And Sheena is like, "Yeah, it happens to a lot of us. It's pretty common in the stud community." My mind is being blown. We get a screenshot that says, "A, if you've ever been SA'd, call a hotline for help." It doesn't give you a hotline number, nothing. And it's in the middle of the segment. They don't even put this at the top of the episode in case you're triggered. Great. Then we move to Raw. Raw also talks about, the question they give Raw is when did they realize that they weren't interested in men? And Raw also talks about sexual assault. Raw talks about how, like, for her men weren't really on the table, but especially after her trauma, men kind of just stayed off the table. Raw went to jail when she was in 7th grade. She's been in and out of the system since then. But now that she's in her 30s, she's like, I'm trying to, really embrace this adulthood and move a little more serious. The Nelly interview talks about if she would be comfortable hooking up with a woman who just was in a sexual relationship with a man in the past year. A lot of these women say that they prefer straight women because they know what they're going to get. In that, they know that it's somebody who's going to be there for a good time, but not a long time. Because apparently these straight women, quote unquote, mess with them and then go right back to dating men. But they're like, that's okay. They don't have a problem with that. They would have a problem if these straight women they were messing with then went to other women. I was like, what world is this? Then, what else? Oh, we also found out that Nelly has no expectations in people. She feels like all people are flawed and going to disappoint you. So she doesn't hold expectations for people. It's like, that's great. Mino's interview, again, starts out surface level. Then we find out Mino was suicidal in her early life. And she actually tried to take her life and was hospitalized for the effort. But in the process of all of that, it helped bring her family closer together. At first, they weren't on board with her being a lesbian. But after her very scary events, they kind of became more open to learning more about her actual life. And so they started that process, and she's very glad for it. It kind of gave her a little bit more support than she had. Baby Jackson also talks about how she recently lost her mother, but has like all these sisters. She talks about being gay and Caribbean and how like that doesn't it butts heads a lot with her own culture, but also that she's a stud. So she's a masculine presenting lesbian, and a lot of her family has a problem with her not only being gay, but also trying to present as masculine. They're like, we'd understand if you were like a femme lesbian, it'd be a little easier for us to understand, but you being a masculine lesbian, they had a lot of issues with it, and it was her trying to figure out how to come to like a compromise of sorts with her family. They try to check in with their mental health, and Baby Jackson talks about how like she has been struggling. She has some of her moments where she's crying, but her roommate Raw has helped her a lot in terms of like checking in with her, and she says that she's been able to help create a balance for her of sorts. Ty Jack's interview by far is the least traumatic one. The question is, when did you first start messing with a girl? Turns out Ty Jack's first sexual experience with a woman was when she was in her late teens, and this lady was 6 years older than her, and they kind of got it in at a party outside. And that's what she did. We also find out Ty Jack got a girlfriend who later makes an appearance. So they have all these interviews, and then they also have this random quiz show that's happening in between. They call it Give Me Brain Challenge. The questions are so random. Who's the current vice president of the United States? How many colors are on the pride flag? What celebrity does Woody think most highly of? Like, these are the questions we're getting. It's very interesting. What is it called when two members of the same species have offspring? Girl, what? What's happening? Oh, my favorite, though, was which LGBTQ member had a hit talk show? And the options are
Wendy Williams,
Keke Palmer, Ricky Lake, Jennifer Hudson, or Ellen DeGeneres.
Wendy Williams.
3 of these names are a part of the queer community, not one. So, but apparently the correct answer was Ellen
Ellen.
DeGeneres.
Ellen.
But Kiki Palmer is bisexual. Allegedly, Ricky Lake is also a member of the LGBTQIA situation. But Woody's like, well, they had to have had the show while they were out. I was like,
Kiki-
what?
Kiki Palmer licks carpet.
Please stop, Calvin. That is so rude. Anyway,
What? Licking carpet?
yes, that's very rude.
Why is that? Okay.
You
Moving
don't
on.
know why that's rude, Calvin?
Moving on.
Interesting. Interesting. So out of that insanity, the interviews and this random behind quiz show, 24K comes out the winner. Turns out if you win the brain challenge, you get to take a point from another person. So now 24K has a decision to make. Who does she take a point from? The only people on the board right now is Baby Jackson with 1 point, Raw with 1 point, Nelly has 3 points, and Moni Montana has 3 points. And Nelly has Moni Montana to thank for those 3 points. They got 2 points for the little sandcastle business when they were teamed up. So it's Nelly and Moni Montana talking to Raw and Jack. And Moni Montana is really trying to sell that she should not take a point from her. Even though she got the most, she shouldn't take a point from Moni Montana. Nelly goes the exact opposite. All of their complaints about Nelly being like saying I'm top dog nonstop comes right up. As soon as they're talking about who to take the points from and yada yada whatever, Nelly gets on this rant about how it don't matter if 24K were to take a point from her because she's winning. She's winning no matter what. They can try to stop her, they can try to slow her down, but she is gonna be top dog and she's winning. She's not here to make friends. She's not here to yada yada yada. She's coming out a winner. So 24K is like, oh, okay, I'll take the point from you. Since it don't matter and you can't be stopped, I can take my point from you. And Nelly's like, do what you got to do because I'm winning. So she's like, bet, and tells Woody that she's going to take the point from Nelly. Nelly could have kept those 3. She could have kept those 3. It would have been an easy sell to say take the point from Baby Jackson or Raw. It would have been easy. But she didn't want to do that.
Why did she not get a point? Why did she get the takeaway point?
Like you told me, they make shit up episode to episode.
You're right. You answered my own question. Thank
And
you.
in the previous episode, Cooley said, we're at a point where I hope we have a challenge where I can take a point from a motherfucker because people are getting too many points on the screen. Ding, ding, ding. Guess what? Somebody gets to take a point.
So basically, the whole thing is how she feels. That's
yeah,
how we.
yeah,
I told you that's how she's running it. How she feels.
yeah.
Told you
Pretty
that.
much. Pretty much.
This episode was too depressing for me, so I didn't watch it.
Because they were talking about feelings and stuff.
Yes.
But that was it. And then they go out for their club night. They just talked about how all the drinking they've been doing is leading to like these confrontations and conflicts. And then they go out and drink. And apparently get into it. So apparently there was another group at the club that was like, yeah, you might be here because of Hooch Daddies are here, but we're the biggest and baddest.
We're the bad bitches on the block, bitches.
I didn't understand.
Bitches.
I was confused. I was here for Ty Jack's girlfriend showing up because Ty Jack's girlfriend shows up in a very cute 2000s era outfit. It is a furred down outfit, complete with bucket hat. She's the cutest little thing. Her and Ty Jack are adorable.
Alcohol, blame it on it. Alcohol.
If she told me that was a baby fat outfit, I would believe her. So,
Fat baby, that's what it is.
not fat baby. But that's how it ends. They go to the club. We see booty and ass. The club's actually a little empty because I'm sure it was a Wednesday. End of Hoochie Daddies. You want to talk about Love After Lockup? Or Love During Lockup?
I also have a shout out. One of our listeners entered a contest to win a Hoochie Daddy chain.
What listener did that?
Dejana, but she lost.
We don't have a Hoochie Daddies chain. It was a contest you made up like Woody and then didn't have a payout for?
It was a Hoochie Daddy contest for the show. To get
the show had one.
Yeah, the show had a Hoochie Daddy contest for a chain, I guess.
Uh-huh.
A raffle or something. She
tried to get one.
Filled out and lost like she was supposed to. Because who the hell wants a hoochie daddy chain?
You know what? I think the joke's on Dejana. I don't think nobody won that chain. So anyway,
Wow.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did that and no one got anything. I wouldn't be surprised. Moving on. Love during lockup.
During lockup.
I'm so excited. It's back. It's been a long wait. It's been a long wait. I've been watching Lindsay's lives on TikTok. They are depressing. So, his name is Blaine. I was
Blaine Edwards.
talking to Calvin about her used to be boyfriend. They're no longer together.
Blaine.
We could not remember his name.
Just Blaine.
But anywho, Love During Lockup has come out. It's brand new couples. Thankfully, no repeats. If I had to look at another couple that we had already seen, I would have been sad. I would have been sad. I should probably have these couples' names up. But anyway, what do you think so far? So technically, it's episodes 1 and 2 of the latest Love During Lockup, but they're counting it as episode 23 and 24 of season 5.
Well, they went back to the basics. We got Captain Save a Ho.
Yeah.
We got You Gotta Get Along with My Mama.
You gotta get along with my mama.
Yeah. Mama's Boy. Well, is he a mom? Well, yeah, Mama's Boy.
Kinda.
They
They just introduced this.
Yeah. God, I gotta see the pictures again.
Here, I got the couple's names.
We have a druggie.
Not a druggie. Okay, so we got introduced to.
Yeah, we have a druggie.
We got introduced to Ayana and Jamal. Ayana is a scripper. Jamal
We have a
is in
scripper.
jail.
Now we have a scripper too.
We got a scripper. We have Joey and Michael. That's the drug people that Calvin's talking about. There are gay couples as well. We haven't did we have one before? I don't think we've had a gay couple that we actively followed.
No.
So this is a first. We've got Teeny and Rob, which is the scariest situation that's happening on this show. We got Teeny, who's a stay-at-home mom, and Rob, who's been incarcerated for the last 18 years. How is she a stay-at-home mom? Anywho. And he's got cameras all up in the house so that he can watch her. Because,
Of course. Because the last ex-wife probably cheated.
More than likely. We got Shanta. I think it's Shanta.
Let's
and
go back
True.
to that. Motherfucker, you in jail for 18 years. What am I supposed to do?
They haven't been together for 18 years, remember? They've been together for the last 5 and married for the last 3.
What I'm saying, the ex. She was probably with him when he went to jail.
That's not guaranteed. We've seen how this works. She couldn't have met him while he was in jail.
No, I'm talking about his ex.
Yeah, she couldn't have met him while he was in jail.
No, I think they were together before he went to jail.
I don't know. They did not establish that yet.
But, okay.
We also have Shanta and True. Shanta met True while he was in jail. They have not met in person. He's only seen pictures on the tablet.
He's going to be angrily disappointed.
She looks like her pictures.
But when she get in that kitchen, he's going to be angrily happy.
Calvin was angry at me when he was watching Shanta cook.
Happy.
She was throwing down in her kitchen.
Quickest way to get to a man's heart is through his motherfucking stomach.
The quickest way to Calvin's heart is through his stomach.
And that's a damn truth.
Just for him. We also have Andrew and Candace. Andrew is buying Candace everything and anything that she wants. New car, you got it. New bags, absolutely. Cash in those bags. Yep. An apartment in the city because he lives in Nevada, so he rented her an apartment in Vegas. Child. Anywho. Then we also have another couple that we haven't seen yet. That's Rick and Samantha. They were high school sweethearts back in the day. I'm thinking the 80s. And they kind of reconnected through the prison pen pal system. And they were like, ooh, let's see. But we haven't seen them as a couple on the show just yet. Of these couples, Calvin, which one are you most interested in? Calvin is distracted.
Well, the one where the baby mama and the wife and the mom don't get along.
So Teeny and Rob's situation.
Yeah, because that's interesting to me because the reason they don't get along is because of him.
Yeah.
So I wonder if he's going to take responsibility for that.
Of course not.
But of course not. But yeah, that's the interesting one.
Teeny and Rob's situation is weird. First of all, he's got cameras set up all over the house. He has access to a phone in jail.
That's going to be the scary one too.
He says because he's been in there for so long, he has the respect of the guards and the warden. So they allow him and some of the other old heads, so people who've been there for a minute, to have phones so he can conduct his business. What business is this? Also, he has a business. He's working with his brother in a business of some sort that clearly pays well because he bought the house Teeny's in. He bought all the security cameras in the house for Teeny that he can watch her through. He pays for everything from jail.
I know why they allow him to do that, because they think he's selling drugs. Still.
That's all okay. The escalation between Teeny and Rob's mom is that Rob was apparently sending money to his mom. But then there was an instance where he had Teeny send money to her and then take it back for who knows why. And he let Teeny take the fall on that. So Rob's mom thinks Teeny is the reason that she didn't get the money that she thought she was supposed to get and hasn't gotten apparently since then. But it's Rob. And when Teeny asked Rob, did you tell her why I even did this in the first place? He tells her no, he did not. He didn't want to get into the details. Yada, yada, boom, boom, boom. But he also wants her to squash the beef between herself and his mother. I don't know how they're going to do that with half-truths. And they don't. Then this latest episode, they meet up to talk. It doesn't go well. And Teeny gets compared to his ex. And she really doesn't like that because she abruptly leaves. It's very interesting. And it's very interesting because Rob's mom, her complaint is that Teeny kind of is living a high life off of Rob's dime and is not sharing that wealth. The way it's phrased is that Rob's mom is struggling and she had depended on Rob's money to kind of help her make ends meet. And so without it, she's really struggling. Meanwhile, Teeny is like just flaunting the wealth, apparently. Who knows? The most interesting couple to me is Ayanna and Jamel, the scripper and the dude that's in prison. There's a 6-year age gap between the two of them, and she's facing her own crime stuff.
That's the crazy one for me.
I feel like it's going to be the tragic one to me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because she's going to jail.
Well, yeah, she said that. She has to turn herself in.
No, she's going to jail.
Yeah, she said that. She's turned herself in.
I think she's going to do something stupid, and she's going to be in there for a while. It's going to reverse. He's going to get out, and he's going to be visiting her in jail.
I don't know when he's supposed to get out. I feel like he's got some time. We find out that the way they got together was a little messy. He was dating one of her friends, and then magically they started dating. Very interesting. But also she's a single mom, and she's struggling to make ends meet, and she also works as a stripper. I think she's in Oklahoma too. She's not like in Atlanta. So
that's my thing. If you're that good, she looks thick. She can go to Atlanta or Miami and make a killing.
But I feel like the competition's also higher out that way.
It don't matter.
I don't think they're just like, oh, we need anybody to get here.
No, it don't matter.
I think it does matter.
No, because there's strip clubs you can go to. There's a lot. And what I'm saying is she can go there. So if you don't know, this basketball player by the name Lou Williams was literally talking about how he spent a whole day in the strip club, like the whole day. He went there after practice from he used to play for Atlanta Hawks. He went to Magic City after practice and stayed there the entire day. Watched games, So what I'm saying is there's enough fit shot for you to make money. That's all I'm saying. And I think she'll make more money than she was making in Oklahoma.
I think if it was that easy, everybody would have done it.
I don't think she wants to leave because she's chasing that dude.
I think Magic City can afford to be very picky about the clientele.
I'm not saying they're
the
not
people
picky.
They hire.
What I'm saying is the South is known for strip clubs. There's a lot of strip clubs she can go to to make more money.
We watched a reality show based around strippers from Atlanta. and they talked about how hard it was to break into Magic City. Because that was the goal for
I'm
all of
not
them.
talking about
And none
that.
of them made it.
I'm not talking about that one strip club. There are numerous strip clubs in the South. I think you can make more money in strip clubs in the South than you can in Oklahoma. That's all I'm saying.
I think that there's far more talent than demand for you to make money down there like that. I think. Otherwise, I feel everybody would do it.
No, it's like you. Sure.
Also, Oklahoma considers themselves the South.
Stop. Next.
They're right above Texas. They're right there.
Next.
What's the South? Is it not Oklahoma? Is not Arkansas?
No.
They count themselves as it.
Arkansas is the South.
Arkansas is literally right next door to Oklahoma. It's right there.
No.
Yes. Oklahoma covers more of Texas than Arkansas does.
Oklahoma considers itself the Midwest. Don't ask me why.
Do they?
Yes.
Or is it just Oklahoma City?
They consider themselves the Midwest. I'm just telling you what they
do.
consider themselves. Okay. Moving right along.
Mm.
Who's the other couple that you think is going to be?
That's really it. Until this old couple gets on here. Until we see Rick and Samantha.
No, the tragedy for me is going to be the gay couple. That's the tragedy for me.
I don't think it's a tragedy.
I think it's a tragedy. Here's why.
I think it's a blessing in disguise.
No, it's going to be a tragedy because of what happened. They said at the dinner table when they were eating that he relapsed for that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Now, to do that, that means you really have such strong feelings for this dude that being without this dude made you relapse.
No, he was with that dude. He wasn't without him.
He relapsed for that guy. Now to find out that that guy don't even want you when he possibly comes out.
No, I think he's gonna want him because he needs a place to stay.
They're not gonna last. We know that.
Yeah.
So, what you think is gonna happen to the sobriety that he has left? It's gone.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna go on a binge. That's just me.
Mm-hmm.
I see a binge happening.
You don't think his family would come around him and support?
They're not gonna be able to stop him. They could have stopped him the last time.
Okay.
He's gonna go on a binge, and I think this could be.
But he lives at home.
I think it's
last time he didn't live at home. When he had his relapse, he wasn't living at home.
I've seen intervention. People can be at home and still be ridiculously strung out on stuff.
Okay.
And downright flat out alcoholics. It don't matter.
Mm-hmm.
If he's gonna do it, he's gonna do it. And I'm pretty sure they were backing him in his life when he did it, when he had the relapse.
They had been in his life, but he wasn't living at home, is what I'm saying.
I'm telling you, it don't matter. When it hits and that's what you want to do, you're gonna do it.
I'm gonna have a little bit of faith that he's gonna figure out his resiliency for this.
Nah.
I'm not gonna condemn him to his mistakes.
The only reason I said that is because I thought the guy wasn't there when he relapsed. You said he was there. So he felt comfortable enough to throw his sobriety to the side for this guy.
The context they gave about his relapse was that the guy was looking for something because he was about to go to jail, and he went with him basically, and they both sampled whatever it was. That was his relapse.
But he relapsed for him. You can spin it whatever you want to. He relapsed for him.
Calvin, your first point was that he's going to relapse because he's now with him.
And because I didn't know they went together. I thought something happened. I thought the guy left or went to jail and he couldn't be without him and he went and relapsed. Apparently, before he went to jail, they went to get some drugs together. That's what you're saying, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he sampled. He didn't have to. He could have went with him, let him do his thing, and been all right.
I don't know that it was for him, though. You know what I mean? I don't think that guy was like, we got to do it together. I don't think he was doing that.
I think, but there's no reason for me. There was no other reason for him to sample.
Okay. His family was saying that his decision making is tempered when he's with that guy, is what they were saying. He's more easily influenced to do something.
So, which means he really loves this dude. He's enamored with him. Why else would he do it then? You get what I'm
Because
saying?
he said he knew exactly what he was doing. He knew he wanted it, so that's why he did it. He didn't say it was because of the boyfriend.
I think he said that because he didn't want to put his boyfriend already in a more bad light than he was
So
already
true.
with
Yeah,
the family.
that's true.
So
That's true.
my thing is, I'm just like you. I'm hoping it doesn't happen, but I can see this going really bad, and that happening. Remember the old dude that was with the girl who
Mm-hmm.
was using? He stopped using, and then she came back and started using again or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
She died, didn't she?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't he die?
No, did he? I don't know. If he did, I don't know.
Well, his family was like he's using again because what happened to her or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm hoping doesn't happen. And that was one of the best 90 days though. And that's what I'm saying. This one has the makings of that 90 day. They took it back.
Who was the other couples that made it
They
so
got
good? I gotta look it up now. I don't even remember what that dude's name was.
but I'm just saying they have this. They
Oh, it
have
wasn't 90 Days. Love After Lockup, Calvin.
I'm sorry, Love After Lockup. They went back to that uh recipe for this episode, this season. That's why this season is gonna be so good to me.
Mm-hmm.
That's why. Because
Oh,
I couldn't. It was a train wreck that you couldn't take your eyes off.
it really was. It really was. Oh, season 2. Her name. She was in season 2.
See what I'm saying? One of the best seasons, and they got a little bit of that in this season now. This season,
Uh huh. You feel okay?
yeah, because these people, you could be. They actually have a story,
Well, it's fresh. Yes,
but
it's a
they
fresh
have
story.
a story. Like that dude has a story.
Mm-hmm.
That female has a story. The mom hates her because of what the son did, but
Right.
she doesn't know it was the son. They have a story, and by the fact that she can't stop saying the ex-wife's name.
Mm-hmm.
And why does she hate the ex-wife's name so bad that she can't? She walks off.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then you got the gullible dude that's just buying everything.
Yeah. True.
So I think this season is going to be. It's going to have season 2 feelings.
Season 2 gave us Andrea and Lamar.
Lamar.
That's who you said Teeny and Rob remind you of. Oh no, not Teeny and Rob. The lady who's never met what's his face. Let me look back at this. Shanta and True. You said that reminds you of that guy, Lamar and Andrea, the Mormon chick.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the prisoner turned producer turned back to prisoner.
They gave me that vibe. You see what I'm saying?
Very
This season,
interesting.
and if this season lets me down, I'm gonna punch baby in the face.
Why a baby?
I don't know. Because I don't want to kick nobody's dog in front of my house. Then I run back in the house. They know I am. So
They're not gonna know you if you punch a baby.
Nope. Because when I punch the baby,
They just leave babies by themselves somewhere.
yeah. People don't stay close to their kids. That's why kids get snatched up like hotcakes around here.
No, that's San Diego.
Yeah, there too.
Yeah.
But yeah, this season is giving me that season vibes, and that season was phenomenal.
It was good.
That
was
season
good.
made it a staple for me.
It was
And
good.
I was trying to get that high again. That's why I watched all those other seasons that
To
if
chase
they-
it, you were
if
chasing
they
that
gave
high.
me just a kiss of it or a touch of it, I would watch the rest of the season. This season has all of that.
Season 2 was good, but I also think the season with the dude who wanted like baloney and sex,
Yes,
that was a good one
But
too.
what I'm saying is those seasons has a hint of that formula that they had starting off.
Okay,
This season,
feels like
this-
they're
this
getting back
season-
to it.
yes, no more. We're gonna force this and this to happen. Let's
Uh-huh.
make this happen.
Mhm.
Let's just see what happens organically.
Right.
And I think this season feels more organic.
Okay. Okay. It doesn't feel as fake and scripted.
It's like last season. The only thing that made it organic was what's the crazy white dude name? The girl look at Furby. I said like
Chance?
Chance. It's because Chance will say something so outrageous that you'd be like, even though it feels
Chance was
fake,
hilarious.
even though it feels fake,
Get off my back, woman. I do what I want. Let's get back together.
even though it feels fake, it's just the stuff that is coming out his mouth.
I'm trying to get back with you, baby. I bought you a car.
Ridiculous.
Why? Why?
But he believes it so hard
He does.
that I can't turn away.
I
Even
can
though
buy this limo. Think of all the stuff we can do with the limo. From 1980? No.
Even though it feels forced.
And we didn't get any resolution to what happened with that dude who was after him.
No. Not at all. It seemed like it was a lover's quarrel.
It did.
And that dude was like, I don't want my business out there like that, and just stopped. And they just let it go.
Yeah.
So this season, oh man. I can't wait.
It's got great promise.
It's got great promise. Because I really do want to see what happened with that gay couple.
Mm-hmm.
Because just by listening to the conversation they had, he's going, it's not when, it's not if, it's just when.
It's very funny that this guy's like, don't make me run away from you. What do you mean? What you mean?
And the fact that this girl.
How I make you do this?
And the fact that the other couple, she can't tell this dude is possessive yet.
Which couple?
The dude that got thousands of cameras in this lady
Teenie
house.
and Rob.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's possessive.
She likes that. It's not that she don't know. She
no,
know.
People like it.
She likes it.
It's cute from far away.
They're still together.
No, because he's not there. It's cute from far away.
He's out now. They're still together. He just took him to a trip in Miami. She's been posting all over her socials.
Okay.
So he's out. They live in their high life right now. And this was filmed about a year ago.
Okay.
Which tells me he's going to be in. I'm hoping he's in love after Lockup.
Okay. Well, we'll see what happens. Anywho, like I said, it's just so many things.
It's fun time. But that's all I got. You got anything else?
Nah. Just what's your other things you're watching that people might be interested in?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Our plate is full with this reality TV trash. I was going to do Knuckles, which is on Paramount Plus right now. It is a TV series for Sonic, but I'm going to wait for all the episodes to drop because they're doing it one by one right now.
Mm-hmm. What am I really watching? Actually, I'm not really watching anything neither. I'm still doing the 90-day, not single life. Oh God! I can't
After
remember.
the 90 days?
After the 90 days, something like that. Yeah. After the 90 days.
It's like Happily Ever After or something?
Happily After. I'm doing that. Loosely doing it, though.
I was going to say, because there was a big breakup, and I haven't heard you talk about it yet.
Yeah, loosely doing it. But that's about it for me.
Okay. And then I think we got to catch up on Lethally Blonde and our other crime shows.
Yeah.
Mean Girls.
But they're going to take a back seat right now.
All right, that's all I got. Thank you for listening to We Like That podcast.
So we like that.
Go ahead and click that subscribe button. You know you want to. And rate us 5 stars. I'm Javon.
I'm Calvin.
Later, people.
And we're out.